Muscle Radio.
Welcome back to Heavy Muscle Radio. I am now here on the phone with our first and only guest of the day. He's a guy who's always wanted to talk to and bring on the radio. He actually contacted me, so the fates in the universe were in our favor. He was a bodybuilder in Australia, very popular at that. He wrote for Muscle Mag International a number of years. He's now in the Hollywood scene, and he's training some special forces in MMA. I'd like to welcome Guy Grundy to the show.
G'day, mate. How are ya?
Good day, mate. I could finally say that to someone and actually mean it.
Very cool. I'm proud to be the first one.
Yeah. We have a friend from South Africa, a friend of mine, Andrea, and for some reason I have a nutty friend who confuses South Africa with Australia, and he thinks that they say good day, mate in South Africa. So we always say good day, mate to this guy, and it's not really appropriate because he's not from Australia, but you actually are. So good day, mate.
You can feel free to use it. It's a universal thing.
Now, how long did you live in Australia for?
Mate, I was born in 1970. I lived there till March of 98. So I guess when I was 28, I lived there till I was 28 and did everything I could do in bodybuilding in Australia at that point. And then March 98, I came over here to America, and as soon as I got off the plane, I was basically at the Gold's Gym door at 4 o'clock waiting for it to open at 5 o'clock.
You lived, you went to, you seeked out the dream, so to speak, which when you came to Los Angeles and Venice was actually, the dream was at Venice Gold's, and you really lived it, and you wrote about it a lot in Muscle Mag.
Mate, it's amazing how, you told me I'm into the law of attraction and energy or whatever it is, but it's just amazing because I used to sit on the bike, ride, doing my cardio in a little gym in Australia, reading Muscle Mag with a column by Steve Neese. And I come to America, I meet Steve Neese, he's the first person to do a story on me. He passes away, and I literally get a client. You start writing a column that, which I always thought was, something I was taking after him. So funny. But yeah, living the dream, I just seen all the guys, Flex Wheeler, yourself, all the training of Golds and all the DVDs and magazines, and I was like, you know what, that's where I got to be. So
I got to stop you. Steve Neese, for those of you who don't know who he was this big, monstrous-looking guy. He had to be 6'5" or something like that, 6'4", and he was a big, thick, strong guy, and he just basically hung out at Gold's Gym Venice all day long, and he discovered most of the new talent there because he was there all the time. He's the first guy to feature me in a column, believe it or not, too.
Really?
He also is the only guy to ever get me at my biggest at 319 pounds. He put some pictures in his column of me. I look like I was going to explode. I was so big, and he did discover a lot of guys. Unfortunately, he did pass away, and it's ironic that you took over, pretty much took the place of his column. He had a column called Muscle Beach, and he would
Venice Muscle Gossip or something, wasn't it? Muscle Beach. Muscle Beach,
I think it was called, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mate, that was amazing. That was a huge thrill for me to meet him. But yeah, coming from Australia, and then first time I seen you was at the Olympic. I'm like, God, are we allowed to swear on your show? Because I swear sometimes. This is like a PG thing.
You can say whatever you want. You can tell me to go fuck myself if you want. I don't care.
I'll tell you that on the radio. I won't tell you that in person. How's that?
Good, fine.
Yeah, mate, so it's just a dream there with Steve Neese and coming to the gym, and like I said, seeing you at the Olympic, like, fuck, look at the veins on his legs, bro. You're thinking, damn, those veins are bigger than my actual legs.
Now, you did something interesting because you won a lot of championships back in Australia. You won the Mr. Australia. You went to the World Championships in NABBA. You won your weight class there, or I should say your height class, because NABBA did it by height classes. You've accomplished a lot in bodybuilding, but when you came to the United States and started living the Venice Gold's gym dream, you did something interesting in the magazines. You started writing a column, but you gave a perspective that was a lot different than other people. Because number one, you were a competitive bodybuilder, which a lot of people who write these kind of columns aren't. Number two, you're an excellent writer. I don't really say that to many people, but you are an excellent writer. And number three, you told a very honest perspective of what was going on, almost to the fault of making fun of yourself. Was this something that was always inside of you, that you always had the ability to kind of laugh at yourself?
Yeah, mate, I think in Australia we call it taking the piss out of yourself, where it means, you just don't talk yourself up. You're like, I'm an idiot or something. You just make fun of yourself because the more, in Australia, we also have another thing called the poppy syndrome. People love you when you're down and battling, but then when you get to the top, people start trying to push you to make you fall over just because that's just human nature. So I think I just developed a technique of seeing people that were successful. They're all going to take the piss out of yourself. You're like, how can I not like this guy? Like, like Mike Ryan, for instance, who's a cool guy, he's a good-looking guy, but he's also cool, and you're like, fuck, bro, how perfect is he? He's nice, and he takes the piss out of himself. And, I'd rather have fun in life, and, besides that, people take the piss out of you, so why not do it first? At least you can get to, get your own laugh.
That's right. I always say the absurdities in life would really make it enjoyable. Were you at the Gold's Gym when what's his name? Matt Cena was there?
Yeah, mate, when John Cena was there.
John Cena, excuse me. I was thinking his brother.
I knew who you were referring to, buddy. I've been so fortunate to Golds. Like I said, I was there from 98. John Cena, he was working behind the counter, probably earning $8 an hour. But you always look at him and you're just like, yeah, that kid's a stud. He's going to do something. He's going to go somewhere. And he always had that confidence about him. But yeah, I've seen him there evolve. Also, Chris Masters, who I think I was probably the first person to write on him for the magazines in Muscle Mate, put him in my column, and then he went on to do well in the WWE. Mm-hmm. So I've seen guys come and go, and it's, then you realise, like, damn, I'm pretty old because I've seen different trends of bodybuilders go. Like the era that I came up that were ahead of me is gone. The guys that I was competing with, a lot of them are gone. So I've seen the sport change and progress, and I need to say with the bodybuilding now, I've got to, the way it's the judging and everything, things like Phil Heath is the number one guy. You've got something for everyone there. He's a good-looking guy. He's he's got a phenomenal physique. He keeps improving. He's got mass. He's a Jay Cutler, Flex Wheeler kind of combination there together.
Did you get along well with Lee Priest? You're one of your countrymen there.
Man, I guess we get on okay. I wouldn't say we're the. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be doing an interview over there pretty soon, apparently. But I wouldn't say. You know what? I'll be honest. No, I wouldn't say we got on. It could have been my fault a little bit because he was ahead of me in Australia. He's a legend, and I came over here and I was a little unsure of myself. And I had an unfortunate circumstances like of meeting Flex Wheeler, who was a total asshole, and I admired him. Lee, and I was a little. I'll talk about that. And then I was a little reserved. For me, I never walked up to Lee and said, "Hey, Lee, you're a hero to me. I've got much respect for you." So I think perhaps that may have put our relationship on a funny thing. And Lee, I'm not being rude, but the guy needs a milk crate to talk to you because he's so short and he's got attitude. Like, fuck, when we're in Australia, if you give me attitude, I'm going to put you on a milk crate and hit you.
So you didn't get along with Flex Wheeler? Is that true?
No, he was the biggest asshole in the entire world. I used to wear Flex. I was a white Flex Wheeler at home, bro. I would be wearing the long tights with the black and orange stripes on it, just getting my gay flight attendants to buy it when they were in America because I admired him.
Sure.
Had all these DVDs. And this is the first time I met him. Apparently he changed, God bless him, but I'm talking about the Flex Wheels that I met.
Yeah, he admitted that he was an asshole back in the day, but tell us how much of an asshole he actually was.
Hey, I will totally jump on that one. I'll totally jump on that train. I'll get 2 tickets. So I come here March of 98. Flex Wheel is my hero. I got nothing but respect for him. I'm at the Firehouse, the most important place in my life and any bodybuilder. And there was Flex Wheeler. We're at the Firehouse. My girlfriend who came with me was sitting in front of me, of course, and he was sitting behind me, looking over my shoulder, looking straight at my woman, just looking at her like arrogant. And she says, he's just looking at me, and I'm like, I'm taking a big breath because I'm not being arrogant, but I grew up on the street. I've fought on I do guerrilla training tactics for the special forces. The long story short is him and I would have beat the living shit out of him. We weren't going to go and have a little karate point fighting. I would have just headbutted him and grounded his head into the ground.
So you already were thinking about how you were going to take him down if it came to that.
Bro, I was thinking, I was shaking, I was so angry because I loved this guy, but all that love and admiration just went to hate. And all I can remember sitting there was, and it's the first time I guess I was professional, I said, you can't walk up to Flex Wheeler, take him outside, beat the living shit out of him, which I would do, on your first day here, he's the best bodybuilder in the world. It's going to make you look like a total asshole.
Right.
Like I'm an idiot. So I let it go. I never did anything about it, but I've never, ever forgotten it. It was just amazing to see that man had so much power and admiration. And I know he admits that he was an asshole, but you can say, hey, I'm sorry. But people like me had to deal with that. I was in shock because I thought the guy was a god, and then for him to do that to me, it was amazing. And then he gets sick, and I've never had one. And you'll know, Dave, you're one of the coolest guys in the sport. Everyone's got something good to say about you.
Thanks.
Who's got something good to say about Flex?
Yeah, there wasn't too many people.
I've never heard anyone say one good thing about Flex. And what amazes me about Flex is the posse that he came up with. Like, I know everything about him. Rico McClinton, Chris Cormier. Rico McClinton is the nicest, most loyal. He's a man amongst men.
He is a good guy, very good guy.
A legend. Chris, I've got nothing but love and respect for him. Chris is cool where for instance, I had a hot woman and Chris would walk up to her when I was around and goes, hey, you still with Grundy? And she'd say yes. He would walk away. That's not a problem. Right. That's respect. Yeah. But Flex, mate, just if you ever listened to your head, it was just, as a fan to someone that came over from another country and you were the greatest thing in my world, you were the greatest disappointment in my entire life.
Oh. Did you ever have a fight with anyone over there at Gold's Venice where you got to the point where you're like, I'm taking this guy out, and you went and did it?
Oh, God, can you say some people's names and not get in... I can't. When we get alone, I'll tell you all of them because I've been...
Oh, you did have fights? You did have fights?
Oh, bro, I've slapped a few people at Gold's.
Who'd you slap? Come on, tell me one person.
I can't do it, bro.
Why not? What's the difference? Were you going to get arrested? Come on.
I don't know. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
The worst, the biggest one, and I'll say because I don't like him, and I'll tell everyone at Gold Gym, Mr. Canada, Eric DeLaro.
You slapped the shit out of Eric DeLaro?
Me and Eric DeLaro,
wow.
He's got a problem with this. Grundy will slap him again. We had a problem. I won't. If he wants to talk about what he did, if you ever get him on air and ask him what he did to deserve a slap from me,
I'd like to know.
I won't bring it up because it's embarrassing for me, but if he wants to do it to show the kind of man he is, he can do it. Long story short, I took him out the back of Gold's Gym in Venice.
Yeah.
And made sure the cameras weren't on me. I actually said, come outside, I've got to talk to you. We had a problem in the gym, and I said, let's go out and talk about it. I don't want to fight you, I want to talk. I said, so we go outside. Long story short, in front of the fitness model, Julian Griox, and everyone at Gold Gym will back this story up.
Yeah.
I bitch slap him, bro. This man's 280 pounds. I'm looking at him thinking to myself, this is going to be one hell of a fight. I'm getting excited, bro. The man cried. He's very wordy with me. Cried and said, do you know who my father is? And ran after his hat and left.
Oh, my God. How embarrassing for him.
Mate, and that's famous. And we were best of friends, but I used to write about him in Muscle Mag and put him in my column. So, yeah, that happened, and that's definitely... And then I also had a problem with Ernie Taylor. I wrote some stuff about him in a magazine.
Ernie Taylor with the big triceps from England.
Yes, exactly. And once again, same thing with Ernie. And I actually made a challenge to him. I said, bro, I'll fight you anywhere you want to fight. Don't do it. Because long story short, I'm well known at Gold Gym. I train there all my life. He comes from England when I'm away on tour. And I hear again, this is off Julian Griox, the fitness model. Mm-hmm. Julian goes, hey, man, Ernie Taylor's looking for you. And I'm like, Ernie? He goes, yeah, he's going to beat the shit out of you. And I said, okay. I said, first off, why is he telling you? He's not telling me. Right. He goes, oh, I don't know, but he wanted me to tell you. And I'm like, oh, I'm not hard to find. And secondly, so basically the man had a problem with something I wrote in the magazine. He goes to Gold's Gym, belittles me while I'm not there, the gym I train at. Wow. Imagine me going to the UK, walking into his hometown gym and going, where's Ernie? Where's Ernie? Yeah. I'm going to beat the shit out of him. And then on top of that, I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy in the world, but I will back up what I say. Especially back in the day, I'm more refined now. I'm 41, I'm acting, but he said all this stuff. He's the baddest guy in the world, Ernie, and I put an official challenge to him through Muscle Mag and everything, and he backed down.
Wow.
It sickens me. If you're a man and you're going to talk and do something, do it. But I'm not going to tell you I'm going to beat you up.